He created the software running the entire internet, all supercomputers, and billions of Android phones. If he charged just $1 for every device running his code, he would be the richest person in history. Linus Torvalds is not a billionaire, and for years he earned nothing from his creation. By 2026, as tech moguls buy private islands, the father of Linux still works from a home office in Oregon. We are looking at how the most influential programmer alive earns his living, and why he rejected the chance to own the world. For the first decade of Linux, Linus Torvalds ran the project largely for free, while relying on university stipends and a salary from a chip maker called Transmeta. This situation changed during the dot-com boom of 1999, when two companies deeply invested in the Linux ecosystem decided to go public. Red Hat and VA Linux knew their success depended entirely on the kernel Linus built, so they gifted him stock options. When VA Linux went public in December 1999, its stock soared nearly 700% on opening day, to set a record that still stands. Linus was instantly worth $20 million on paper, as the industry finally paid him back for his work. Today, Linus avoids stock market gambles in favor of a steady job at the Linux Foundation. Since 2003, this nonprofit trade association has employed him to support open source projects. This arrangement allows him to work on the Linux kernel full-time, without answering to a specific corporate agenda. Tax filings and reports from 2026 estimate his annual compensation package sits between $1.5 and $2 million. This is a massive salary for a software engineer, but it remains a rounding error compared to the pay of CEOs like Satya Nadella or Tim Cook. Linus operates as a high-level, salaried employee who trades potential billions for the freedom to code exactly what he wants. Observers often wonder why he is not a billionaire, and the reason comes down to the license. When Linus released Linux in 1991, he used the GNU General Public License. This legal framework meant that anyone could use and modify the software, but nobody could lock it down or sell the kernel as a proprietary secret. Bill Gates became the world's richest man by owning the intellectual property of Windows and charging a license fee for every copy sold, whereas Linus gave his ownership away. He famously stated he did not want the headache of running a company. Retaining ownership might have slowed the adoption of Linux, even if it would have filled his bank account. He chose ubiquity over monopoly. Since the software is free, the industry generates cash through support and stability. Companies like Red Hat do not sell the Linux kernel, but rather they sell the guarantee that it will work. IBM acquired Red Hat for $34 billion because enterprise clients pay massive subscription fees for technical support, security patches, and system management. The Linux Foundation also generates revenue through corporate memberships. Giants like Google, Microsoft, and Huawei pay hundreds of thousands of dollars annually to be platinum members. Their own trillion-dollar businesses depend entirely on Linux surviving, so they effectively pay Linus to keep the foundation of their empires solid. Estimates in 2026 place Linus Torvalds' net worth somewhere between $50 and $150 million. He lives comfortably in a nice house in Oregon and drives a yellow Mercedes convertible. But he lacks the private jets and super yachts of his peers. This balance was the goal all along, as he often speaks about the concept of having enough. Stepping out of the rat race allowed him to maintain control over his life and his code. He did not build a financial empire, but rather a technological civilization, where he gets paid just enough to enjoy watching it run. Linus Torvalds proves that an individual does not need to be a billionaire to reshape the world. His code runs on Mars, in your pocket, and on the servers hosting this video. He traded equity for legacy to become the most successful volunteer in human history. Sometimes, the best way to win the game is to rewrite the rules. Subscribe for more stories about the people who built our digital world.